شلامي يا مخبي انكرات ورايا من ذم صيت يا قائم ثنايا شلامي يا مخبي انكرات ورايا من ذم صيت يا قائم ثنايا في قيدوني ويا مخرايا هلا بنطار اللي شانا يمايا في قيدوني ويا مخرايا هلا بنطار اللي شانا يمايا لشانت يما خبرة وإقارة تاريخ داتور شهارة لشانت يما خبرة وإقارة تاريخ داتور شهارة لو ما أزرقت أشهر جبارة إن قمت لا أبد خشرة لو ما أزرقت أشهر جبارة إن قمت لا أبد خشرة.
We are re-entering the open session at 7:36 p.m. May I have a roll call, please?
Member Dr. Lopez?
Here.
Member Dr. Koh?
Here.
Member Noet?
Here.
Member Dr. Barzaning?
Here.
Member Fleen?
Here.
Member Jacob?
Here.
Member Abraham?
Here. All right, are there any changes to the agenda? No? Okay, we are going to move to our public comment section. I will read the guidelines for public comments, and then we will go ahead. I'll start calling everyone by name, and at that point in time, you can go up and speak. So we're going to go ahead with the guidelines first. We will now proceed to public comments. We will hear in-person comments in order that they were received, which means however your name is on this list right here. Each individual will have up to 3 minutes for their comment. The board secretary, Dr. Lopez, right here, he will be keeping time, so if your time comes up, he will let you know. He'll give you 30 seconds to close up your comments. Public comments will proceed for 1 hour. Electronically submitted comments will be read to the board if time allows. We do have a few, so if there's time, April will read those. All electronically submitted comments have been provided to the board and posted. Consistent with board policy and Illinois statute, public comment is for purpose of allowing members of the public to comment or to ask questions of the board. This does not include use of public comment to promote or engage in political campaign efforts. Please be aware that the board also does not make or respond to public comments identifying or commenting on individual students or personnel with specificity at board meetings. So with that, I will go ahead and call the first person, and you may come up to the podium at that point. So the first person that I have is, hope I don't mess up the name, it's Carolina Balicki, I believe, a parent.
Hi, I'm Caroline Balicki, and I am literally a neighbor of Giles West High School, as well as a parent of 2 current students and 1 recent graduate. I'm here tonight to express my support for the teachers and staff and administrators of District 219 in relation to attempts to censor books or materials, or learning materials that are available to its high school students. We must learn from history to avoid repeating past actions and policies that were racist, sexist, classist, ableist, misogynistic, homophobic, transphobic, and anti-immigrant. In short, harmful to the people who will soon graduate and in many cases begin to engage as citizens in our democratic republic. The Illinois State Education Standards and the District 219 curriculum set at the direction of Dr. Sandra Araguin, Assistant Superintendent for Curriculum and Instruction, reflects the role of high school education to help students become critical thinkers, not simply rote learners of math facts and sentence structure. I don't know if the book censors have yet come to District 219. For all our sakes, I hope they don't make it here. But if they do, I urge the District 219 board to stay its course as non-reactors to public comment in both the physical and active sense. All children and all people deserve to see themselves reflected in the books, TV, media, and other content available and taught in our public schools. I trust you not to censor these materials, and thank you for your service to everyone in our community. Thank you.
Thank you. Our next commenter is Rima Shimon.
Shalom, good evening, District 219 board members. My name is Rima Shimon and I'm an Assyrian community member. I appreciate the time and effort of all the Assyrians who have worked on this proposal. It is essential, particularly when institutions like the Smithsonian classify your language as dying. Before you vote, please take into consideration that you would allow for the preservation and potential perpetuation of one of the oldest languages in the world. Establishing a formal curriculum with the accompanying resources to learn a language is an opportunity I never had. The fragility of our language and how it's being diluted in diaspora and my relationship with my language is reflected in a poem that I wrote a few years ago, and I would like to share it with you tonight. We speak their Western languages with ease. You wouldn't think Assyrian was the one that formed my speaking. We learn to read, sing, and write poetry in theirs. But when we mispronounce one word, they poke fun. The irony, have they even tried to pronounce one word of ours? We created the basis of all other languages. With time, did ours get lost? Why not choose to learn it? Elef, beat, gemet. The letters stared back on a page. Elef, beat, gemet. Over and over and again. Etching them in my mind. Elef, beat, gemet. My hand awkwardly learning to write from right to left. It did not seem fair to me that these letters were so foreign, although mine. With years, those letters were weaved into words and meaningful conversation, a unique form of expression, one that carries tradition and tells the stories of legends. A world made bland with uniformity, but made colorful with this ancient tongue. And I choose to learn it even though I will never be perfect. Thank you.
Thank you. Our next commenter is Shiva.
Shalom Aleichem, and good evening, District 219 board members, elected officials, and to my community. My name is Shiva, and I am the Executive Director for Vote Assyrian. It is my honor and privilege to have been given this opportunity to stand before you and give thanks as a very proud Assyrian American. I give thanks to the present board members for listening to my community and hearing us. The collaborative efforts between you, advocates, and ISB has been crucial. I want to give thanks to past board members when this all started. I give thanks to Dr. David Coe, former president of District 219, when the conversations began about teaching Assyrians in schools. He was without a doubt a huge supporter of. I give thanks to board member Joe Nowick, who has forever been a huge Assyrian supporter. I give special thanks to our current president, Naima Abraham, one of my advisors and an advocate for our people. She, as well as all of us, know how important this movement is. And I am so proud to see you up there as our president. I give thanks to State Senator Ron Volivalim, who is a champion for Assyrian rights. I give thanks to my community members and the members of the Assyrian Club who have taken on a role as liaisons between the school and our community, making sure that our children's voices are heard. I give thanks to Mr. William Sargoul, who has joined this movement since the first day of work and has ensured this dream becomes realized, even volunteering to continue his education and make sure we are equipped to teach these students. Last but certainly not least, I give special thanks to Mrs. Caroline Benjamin and Ms. Romina Samuel. Both have worked tirelessly for this moment and have played an exceptional role as the bridge between the school board, and our community. We simply cannot thank you two enough. You are forever indebted, we are forever indebted to you, and this was truly a community moment, and I am so proud to have witnessed this. Thank you all for hearing us and taking this on a vote today. We are forever grateful. Thank you.
Thank you. Our next commenter is Tishao Daudi.
Good evening. First, I would like to start off by asking the school district to increase the number of spots available for more students to be able to take driver's ed. From my understanding, it is a severely low number. Next, I would like D219 to consider having consumer ed be 2 semesters as opposed to just 1 as a graduation requirement. Currently, having it be just 1 semester is just dismal. How can it just be 1 semester when in an everyday world, living the demands of knowing things like basic banking, interest rates on loans for schools, car and home, planning for retirement, what all is involved in the stock market, budgeting money, and so on. Please consider raising the dismal number from 1 to 2 semesters for this class. The district prides itself on making sure each graduate is college ready. How about also making sure they are life ready? I hope this request is considered. Thank you.
Thank you. Our next commenter is Richard Evonitz.
Good evening. Can you hear me? Good evening, members of the Board of Education. As board members, past and present, we hope and dream of better for our community. I remember one such dream that Naomi Abraham shared with me many years ago while I served on this board. Why not have the Assyrian language taught in District 219? Tonight on the board's agenda, you'll consider the addition of an Assyrian language and culture class. From dream to reality is always a process, and there's no doubt that many talented educational professionals and dedicated community members have contributed to this matter being before this board tonight. I'm so proud of this community for doing the hard work to get this matter before you so that this class can enrich the lives of Assyrian and non-Assyrian students. But I also want to acknowledge the person at the head of the table, President Abraham, for her vision in bringing this matter before you. Because some see the world as it is and they say, why? You dreamed of things that never were. And you said, why not? Thank you for your leadership, Naima Abraham, on this very, very important issue. Good night.
Thank you. Our next commenter is Ramson Shido.
No, not singing, no. Very simple. On behalf of myself, obviously a lot of you know who I am, and our community here. My name is Ramson Shido. I'm an international Assyrian singer. Traveled the whole world, met a lot of people. And the people in this community really, really needed something like this today. And I'm not just talking about like the community, like that whoever came out and just kind of supported us, right? But the kids, all these kids here, all these Assyrian clubs that we have here, Now's West, Now's North. And I'm a proud sponsor of Assyrian Club at Now's West also. I just want to say thank you very much. I don't know why I'm so nervous, because on stage it never gets nervous, but I don't know. I just want to thank you all so much, every single board member, for considering this. It's going to be a lasting impression for years and years and years and generations to come. On that note, I've also accepted a phone call today from our bishop in the Chicagoland area. He's not here. He's out of town. He couldn't be here. Mar Polis, our bishop from the Assyrian Church of the East Diocese of Chicago, and their prelates wish you very well, and they want to thank you all for considering this to be a part of District 219 curriculum. God bless you all, and God bless everybody that worked so hard on this. Where's the Queen, Romina here, and Carolyn. Thank you very much, guys. And all of you guys, once again, thank you very much, and hopefully we'll see you guys again for bigger things.
Thank you. Our next commenter is Summer Samano.
And I have a prepared. Good luck. I have a prepared.
I'm a teacher and I am nervous. Shalom Aleichem. My name is Sober Samano. I'm a graduate of Niles West High School and a first-year English teacher here. I'm proud to deliver this statement on behalf of my Assyrian colleagues here at District 219, including the D219 Studaya Parent Group, Assyrian clubs at both high schools, and the faculty and staff members who have been the foundation and drivers of the Assyrian language course proposal. Caroline Benjamin, Carmen Elbazi, Rima Samuel, William Sargul, and others who will be named at the end as time permits. Today marks an historic day for the Assyrian American community. In the spirit of Indigenous Peoples Month, I would like to take a moment to first acknowledge and honor the Indigenous peoples in the U.S. As Assyrians, we join in solidarity and pledge to honor and celebrate Indigenous voices. It is this solidarity with the voices of those who came before us on the stolen land that invigorates us to stay steadfast in the struggle for a better future for all. We also stand in solidarity with our Black community who have experienced harm from the racism they endured. We strongly believe that it is through the solidarity of our voices that we will be able to uplift one another. The Board of Education is voting on the proposed Assyrian language course. I speak on behalf of our district's Assyrian students, families, community organizations, alumni, and our diaspora communities all over the world in support of this course. We would like to thank the board and other stakeholders at District 219 for listening to our community and taking action to meet our needs. This effort serves a growing interest and need among Assyrian American students. The Assyrian community is still working to undo the harmful effects of laws enacted in their various countries of origin, which infringed upon their cultural and linguistic rights, where its use and prominence are still severely limited. Language has historically been used as a political tool to subdue Assyrians as indigenous language speakers. The harmful effects of policies designed to eradicate Assyrian language and culture are still playing out today. Assyrian students who learn their language are able to maintain critical ties to their culture, affirm their identity, and preserve important connections with their elders and our homeland. And yet most Assyrian American children lack access to any form of schooling in the Assyrian language. Tonight, District 219 has a chance to make history and create change. We are asking you to say yes. But you're not just saying yes to the course, you're saying yes to uplifting Assyrian voices. You're saying yes to allowing Assyrian students a unique opportunity that was denied to our ancestors. You're giving students the space to explore, develop, and strengthen their cultural identities. You're supporting our community as we struggle to safeguard our language and cultural identity. You're building bridges between Assyrians and our neighbors, thus creating a stronger sense of community in our district that is known for its diversity. You're promoting tolerance and understanding and encouraging students to learn about new perspectives. You're connecting Assyrian families to their students' educations in a way that hasn't been done before. So the parents here too. As we Assyrians continue to grapple with the long-term effects of genocide, persecution, and forced displacement, we look to the board to help us break this harmful cycle and create a space for healing and hope. We know based on the statements made last month that the members of the board understand the importance of this course and today. We thank you again for listening and once more ask you to say yes in the spirit of our district's commitment to inclusivity and equity. And again, I'd like to make this statement on behalf of my Assyrian colleagues at D219, including, not in order, Carmen Elbazi, Caroline Benjamin, Rima Samuel, William Sargul, Rita Shamo, Jenny Ascaria, Hise David, Susan Badajo, Imad Bati, Ramson Shido, Alexandra Daud, Rayne Hannah, Juan Yusuf, Susan Shaba, Linda Amadine, Dylan Chico, Bashar Josrawi, Tanya Laskowski, Josephine Kamis, and myself. And again, thank you.
Good job, bro.
Thank you. Our next commenter is Rayne Hannah.
Good evening, members of the board, administration. My name is Rayne Hannah, and while I've recently joined the staff at Niles West, I'm speaking today as a proud Niles North alumnus, Go Vikings, and a member of the local, Assyrian community. I will be brief. I just could not let this moment pass without acknowledging the pivotal role played by 3 individuals in advancing the Assyrian language course proposal. There has been a lot of conversation in recent weeks, and of course tonight, about the historic vote that will take place this evening. And while we are all looking forward to a positive outcome, it's important to recognize that the fact that there even is a vote tonight is all owed to the resilience and determination of Caroline Benjamin, Romina Samuel, and William Sargoul. Caroline first told me about the idea for this course 7 years ago, and speaking truthfully, I was doubtful that we would ever get here. The barriers to overcome were too great, and the support outside of our community was too little. The reasons for this proposal to fail were endless. It was, as we were told over and over again, impossible. Caroline, Romina, and William could have given up at any point during this long and tiresome process. They had every reason to, and yet they refused to give up on the Assyrian families counting on them. They persisted even when they couldn't see a path forward and found a way to overcome barrier after barrier. And it's because of them that we are all in this room finally awaiting a vote. So on behalf of many in this room and around the world, I would like to say to the 3 of them, thank you for your courage, for refusing to give up. Thank you for refusing to take no for an answer. Thank you for creating a pathway for this proposal to be heard and for your steadfast determination all these years. There is no overstating the importance of this moment, and it's only because of you that this is possible. You are heroes, and the immeasurable impact of your work will be felt for generations to come. I hope that as you 3 process the events of today, that you can take pride in what you have done and know that you have our collective gratitude. And I hope that this district knows how fortunate it is to have tremendous leaders such as these in our schools. And also, we can never get anywhere alone, so I want to say thank you to our allies who have been with us every step of the way, including Ms. April Stallworth, Dr. Sandra Arreguin. Thank you for hearing us, for uplifting our voices, and for helping us get here today. Thank you.
Okay, our next commenter is Ram Bilivalam.
He just
Hello. Hello, good evening. Thank you so much, President Abraham, and to all the members of the board for giving me, not only giving me the opportunity to speak this evening, but also for your service to our community all of the time, especially though over the last 3 years. I wanted to take that opportunity to show you my gratitude, appreciate you all, since this is my first time speaking in front of the D219 board meeting. I am here on behalf of myself and Representative Jennifer Gong-Gershowitz. I represent the 8th State Senate District. She represents the 17th State House District. Together, my district goes from Albany Park to West Riders Park in the city, and together we represent all the communities in Niles Township as well. And we are honored to represent this area. We are equally or more honored to be the co-chairs of the recently newly created Illinois Assyrian Caucus in the state of Illinois. And we can clap for that. And I stand here today both as co-chair of the caucus, as your state senator, and as the son of immigrants myself, and as someone that works every day to represent those that have been traditionally underrepresented. I have a letter here that's been signed, a bipartisan letter that's been signed by members of the Illinois Assyrian Caucus, and with your indulgence, I would like to read this into your record. Dear Niles Township High School District 219 board members, we, the members of the Illinois Assyrian Caucus, strongly support the proposal to offer students at District 219 an Assyrian language and culture course. There are thousands and thousands of Assyrian Americans living in Illinois, most of whom call Niles, Skokie, and Morton Grove home. District 219 has already taken the first steps toward the full inclusion of its Assyrian American neighbors with its Soraya parent group, hopefully I said that right, which advocates for the needs of Assyrian students and families. Now, District 219 has the opportunity to implement a first-in-the-nation learning program and serve as a model to schools across the country. The course curriculum has been reviewed and approved by the Illinois State Board of Education and was crafted with the direct input of the Assyrian American community in District 219. Both Assyrians and non-Assyrian students stand to benefit from this proposal, as it will create a space for culturally competent learning where students can engage with their community. It is our duty as good neighbors and elected representatives to uphold our commitment to making Illinois the most welcoming state in the nation. Offering this course will undoubtedly foster an inclusive learning environment, satisfy world language college entry requirements, and give students the opportunity to apply what they've learned in their community as well. On behalf of the Illinois Assyrian American Caucus, we humbly ask for your support. Signed, let's see, 4 state senators and 4 state representatives. And I just want to make a few final comments. One is, again, on a personal note, I just want to say thank you. As a son of immigrants, and as a state senator today, I often say the hardest challenge we have in this country is assimilating to this society while keeping our heritage, our language, and so much more. And this accomplishes both. What you're doing here today accomplishes both. I also want to say that inclusivity is a principle that we will always need to work on. It's not that you all as a body, as a school district, weren't inclusive before. You all clearly have shown that through your actions. You've become more inclusive today, and there will be something down the line that will make us even more inclusive. And I just wanted to tell you that I stand there with you and working towards that ever lasting inclusivity that we need. And the last thing I'll say is...
That's the 3 minutes, Senator, sorry.
Apologies. I'll take a little 10-second prerogative. Decisions, one of my favorite sayings in public service and in the political process, legislative process is, decisions are made by those who show up. The Assyrian American community has shown up. Let's give them a round of applause. And as someone that, again, works to represent those that are underrepresented, that is, to me, the most valuable piece, is getting people engaged in the process that haven't been engaged before, and them being able to see that when they do that, something like this is possible. So thank you again. I'll put the copies of the letter here, and thank you so much for what you all are doing today.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Our next commenter is Gabriel Daudi.
Good evening, members of the D219 board. Shalom, President Abraham. My name is Gabriel Daudi, and I'm the newly elected president of Assyrian Club. Last time I spoke to you, I was alone, and that is not the case this time. I'm here with the leadership of Niles West's Assyrian Club. This is Vice President Grace Koshaba, Event Planner Nineveh Sangari, and Head of Marketing Diana Shamoun. As an Assyrian student here in D219, the idea of having a language and culture class would mean the world to me. To learn about such an advanced ancient language would reflect upon the district's commitment to diversity and inclusivity very well. The proposed class would inform the students of a culture of resilience, a culture with heavy significance, and a culture that has shaped our world into what it has become today. Had it not been for the Assyrians, we wouldn't have had the advancements we have today, such as literature, our ancestors having made the first library, math, and the wheel, and so much more. Western academia has largely ignored and neglected Assyrian language and our ancient history. It is at the point where people do not know Assyrian people exist. As a state with a large indigenous Assyrian population, it is important to include this language as a class. The Assyrian people have been through horrendous atrocities for thousands of years and ethnic cleansing. Our culture and our people are dying, and to keep it alive, we must include this class into our curriculum. We must celebrate the Assyrian community here at D219. If approved, D219 would go down in history as the first school in the nation to provide the Assyrian language in their curriculum. Thank you for your time and consideration.
Thank you. Our next commenter is Sid Stein.
Yeah, hi, good evening. Echoing a lot of other views. Let's please get the Assyrian language and cultural class approved as a Middle Eastern language at Niles Township with we Hebrew teachers and Hebrew speakers, similar language, similar history. So we support you all, and let's just get it done and complement Hebrew. And Bismillah. Just one other event coming up. Let's please remember Veterans Day is a week from Friday, and to recognize the 1% of us who serve the country. This reflects the local values as shown at the POW and MIA flags of both high schools and the plaques, and the World War I monument in Morton Grove. So please remember the veterans and remember everyone deployed. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. Our next commenter is Elias Theodore.
Okay, so my name is Elias Theodore, and I'm Greek. Why am I saying I'm Greek? It is because it's my ethnicity, but I'm here to support the Assyrian Club. And yeah, I do want to say a few things. I was here for one day and I did love it. And as you can just see, I am wearing casual clothes to this event. But these people, they are wearing their traditional clothing. Okay, can we get a round of applause for them? And yeah, I came up with a speech on the top of my head. Yeah, I came here intending to just sit down and listen, but then I realized I want to stand for these people. I want to help them. And I hope that I do not have to go to another board meeting with the discussion of Assyrian becoming a language, like the class. Because I hope by then the board will have made it a class. I'm bad at speeches, but yeah, you get the point. Please vote yes on a course so we do not have to have another discussion. But yeah, no, I'm just saying because these people they are doing their best. They have supported themselves. You guys are supporting them by letting them do this. And I'm repeating a lot of stuff, but yeah, as you can see, they have flags too. Yeah, so. Thank you. Please consider
Okay, our final commenter is Bishop Lucky Vargas-Jonas.
Good evening, or what I'm sure from Power. To the members of the school board of District 219, I'm not sure how I'm going to follow my previous speaker. He kind of went straight to the point, and, as we say, krito klita. We are very thankful that you have given us the opportunity to speak tonight on a day when such a momentous decision will take place. I am Bishop Vargas-Jonas of the Ancient Church of the East here in Chicago, and I am joined by my fellow cleric, His Grace Rima Shimon Daniel, Bishop of our church for the Diocese of Iraq and the Middle East. As community leaders, we are aware of the many challenges the Assyrian people have historically faced pursuing the preservation of our culture. I'd like to give some statistics from a linguistics magazine that was published in 2015. According to the publication, more than 7,000 languages exist in the world today. Of those, 2,400 languages are at the edge of extinction, and every 2 weeks a language dies. Language is viewed as a living being, as an entity in and of itself. We are grateful to the board for not viewing the Assyrian language as a piece of history and for taking into consideration that you will be making a decision to strengthen this language. As you make your decision, please consider how your decision will impact the life of this entity. Whether it will be given a chance at rebirth or strengthening, or whether its existence will become a part of history. of interest to academics and become a matter of study for historians. We refer to our language as Lishanat Yimma, or mother tongue. Just as a mother cares for her children, language is the foundation of every culture and helps to sustain it. This decision will be an unprecedented step for the Assyrian community in the United States. It will be a catalyst for growth and advancement, as well as an example for school districts and Assyrian communities throughout the country. A yes vote will help in the preservation of our rich history and culture, and help us to share our culture with our neighbors. A no vote will extinguish the hopes of many people. We are confident that the board will make the correct decision. I would like to also take this opportunity to sincerely thank all of the educators, staff, and community members that worked tirelessly to help us reach this point. We could not have made it here without your dedication and faith. Thank you very much, or Todi Seki, and God bless you all.
Thank you. That was the end of live commenters, but we do have electronically submitted ones. And we'll get those to the podium in red.
So I'm a little hungry. So I have 4 comments electronically from James Krezeminski. I am in favor of the Assyrian language and culture class. I've spoken with several students and faculty members that are enthusiastic for the class and how it will serve our community. Comment from James Prezant. I think it's great we're including a big part of the local community. I'm in full support of more representation for Assyrian language, culture, and people, despite my lack of affiliation. Comment from Ryan G.U. I am very hopeful and excited about the course proposal for Assyrian language and culture. Having taught many Assyrian students over the years in my EL math classes, I believe these students will be excited to take this course and appreciative that our district is offering a course that shows that it values the language and culture as it has with other languages and cultures around the world. And then finally, comment from Rana Mahdi. Past generations of Assyrian students have attended the D219 district feeling unrecognized and displaced. These feelings are not new to our Assyrian students and families. The 2003 invasion of Iraq left nearly 40% of Assyrians displaced. Hence, they are often wrongfully assumed to be Arab due to belonging to the same region, although they speak a different dialect and have a different culture. Due to this, I have heard the excitement among so many Assyrian students to have a class dedicated to who they are. This is so important to our students and also to the district. We are building school community by recognizing how identity plays an integral part of what we do in D219. I'm ecstatic for our Assyrian students and Assyrian staff to share parts of who they are with our school community. That's what
Thank you, April. Just before we vote, it's going to be the first item that we vote on. However, before we go on to the voting piece, we're going to hear from our student representatives first. So if you guys want to hang around, we'll be starting that shortly. So our first student representative will be from Niles West, Almira Mushak.
Good evening, D219 board members and community. My name is Almira Mushtaq and I'm a senior at Niles West. First and foremost, I would like to thank the board and the Niles West community for the opportunity to be board representative. It is truly an honor. School is in full swing and October proved to be truly eventful. October marked Breast Cancer Awareness Month. The Niles West girls volleyball team raised awareness by wearing pink in their game against North in a show of support. They also honored breast cancer survivors in the Niles West community. Congratulations to all the girls on their win. In addition to this, October was an overall great month for the athletic department as there were multiple students who qualified for sectionals in addition to the girls volleyball team and 2 students who qualified for state. We also had a school record for girls swimming broken just yesterday.
Does anybody need to remove anything from the agenda as presented? No? Okay. May I have a consent to approve the consent agenda as presented?
So.
Thank you. May I have a second?
Second.
Thank you. May I have a roll call?
Member Jacobs?
Yes.
Member Kling?
Yes.
Member Dr. Farzaneh?
Yes.
Member Dr. Lopez?
Yes.
Member Dr. Coe?
Yes.
Member Noah?
Yes.
Member Abraham?
Yes. Okay, our first item is the proposal for the new courses. May I have a motion that the Board of Education approve the course name changes, revised courses, and new courses listed for 2024 school year as presented? May I have a motion, please?
So moved.
May I have a second? Thank you. Does anyone have any comments or statements? I know we vetted this thoroughly the last time, but Dr. Adegin, if you want to go ahead and give us a full summary, that'd be great.
Just a brief summary, because we did have, thank you to the board, an extensive conversation and an opportunity to talk to you about all of the course proposals. Just as a reminder, so we presented to you at the last board meeting in October. All of the course proposals were recommended by the Curriculum Standards for School Improvement Committee, with the exception of math extension, which we talked about. That was a tie vote. However, the administration does recommend that approval as well. In addition to the name changes and revisions, I do want to remind the board of 4 new courses that would enter our catalog. Those would be Stories of the African Diaspora, Exploration into Education and Leadership, Advanced Spanish for Heritage Speakers, and Assyrian Language and Culture.
Thank you.
Is it possible to maybe take the math extension out and vote on that separately?
I think we discussed that thoroughly at the last meeting, and we decided as a board that that was okay to keep. Did anybody object to that? No. Okay, so I think we're just going to keep it as is. Does anybody else?
Did we vote?
Yeah.
Did we agreed to say that we would vote on all of them together? Because I thought the discussion was that it was 8 to 8, and I didn't know that there was a decision.
Just as a reminder, there were 2 proposals that came from math. One was a math extension and another was a course name change. And so that's the one that we took out, because what we discovered is that there was an issue perhaps with some of our course name changes. And so that we will bring those all together. Those are being reviewed by our counselors, and they will give us feedback on which course name changes we should bring to you that are problematic on the transcripts for our students. So that's the math one that we removed.
So that is removed then?
That one is,
okay.
But the math extension, I want to be clear, is here.
Okay. That's fine, then I retract that.
Okay. Any other comments or statements? Okay. I actually wanted to take a moment just to recognize the many people that were involved in this. Like most of the commenters in this room today. I'd like to start by thanking you first and foremost, Dr. Adegin. Thank you for your leadership in continuously creating student-centered curriculum. One only needs to read the titles of these courses to know your work is grounded in diversity, equity, and inclusion. How many high schools have a course titled Stories of an African Diaspora? I've never heard of that until you had shared that with us last month, so thank you for that. And of course, being of an Assyrian descent myself, I am personally grateful to finally see the Assyrian language and culture class added to the course offerings. Dr. Adegin, from the very beginning, you saw that the Assyrian language and culture class as a viable, accredited world language class. I'm grateful for that. From day one, you saw that. More importantly, you encouraged the staff to continue with the initiative, even when faced with delays and challenges along the way. Dr. Adegin, you are a pioneer and a trailblazer. I've always said that from day one. I say this because I really feel with all my heart that we are the luckiest district to have you, because you are such a visionary. So thank you for being here. Todd Bowen, who isn't here today, but he was here last month. So oh, he's here. Oh, good. Oh, good. I'm grateful for your guidance and support in creating the curriculum and recognizing Assyrian as a world heritage language. I also want to thank you for so graciously agreeing to present our Assyrian parents with status updates along the way. That meant a lot to the entire community. Thank you. Caroline Benjamin, you really were the catalyst behind the whole thing from 2015 until today. And the reason why I say that is because you started the effort to have the Suraya Parent Club. Without that venue to have the parents to share their voice, it would have never happened. So the parents came out, you said you wanted it, and the district listened. So this was all because of you, so thank you so much. Carmen Albazi, you and Calvin, may God rest his soul, your efforts were critical in creating the Assyrian Parent Club. Thank you for your contributions. And of course, there's Ramina, Samuel, and William Sardul. In collaboration with Tom Neal, it's my understanding, the world language teacher at District 219, Ramina and William used their connection and expertise in reading, writing, and teaching Assyrian to guide the design of this class for this District 219 students. Without that technical piece, we may not be doing this today. So it was critical. Thank you so much. I also want to thank the past and present superintendent, Dr. Isoye, Mr. Moore, both of whom have been in complete support of these Assyrian classes from the first conversation I had with both of them. So thank you. My board colleagues, past and present, and I'll mention a few from the past. Linda Lambert was one. Rich Evonitz, who was here commenting earlier. Brian Novak, who's no longer here, and then the current board right here. In complete support of the Assyrian class every time it came up for discussion. So thank you so much for your support. As you saw and heard from tonight and the previous month, many Assyrian community leaders like Asher Shiva from Vote Assyrian, like our elected officials like Atur Sabun, who was here the last time, we collectively communicate with our state representatives regarding initiatives that are important to our community. With that said, I want to thank State Representative Jennifer Gongershowitz for her leadership and support in navigating and facilitating discussions with ISB regarding the accreditation process for the Assyrian language and culture class. I also want to thank Senator Ram Valivala, who was here, for his constant outreach regarding the Assyrian course. Without a fail, every time I saw him, no matter what the event was, and I see him quite a bit throughout the community, he always asked how it was going and if we needed his support. So thank you, Senator Ram. On a personal note, did I imagine I would be part of this historic legacy? The answer is no. I say this because so many before me, before all of us here, have tried. My dad and his generation and all the generations before them. So I am humbled and grateful to be part of this historic moment because it is not just mine, it's not just ours. Rather, it's a moment for all of us who came before us. Lastly, I want this initiative to be a reminder to all of our language communities that this board is here to support you. So whatever it is that you need, please come out and communicate. That's all it takes is just a communication. Thank you. I think with that said, if anybody has any comments or questions, we can move on to a roll call. May I have a roll call, please?
Member Dr. Koh?
Yes.
Member Dr. Lopez?
Yes.
Member Flink?
Yes.
Member Noe?
Yes.
Member Dr. Barzanay?
Yes.
Member Jacob?
Yes.
Member Abraham?
Yes.
لشانك يما تقرأ إقارة تاريخ ضافور الشهارة لشانك يما تقرأ إقارة تاريخ ضافور الشهارة نوما الزرعي عشر جبارة انت لا أبي خجرة نوما الزرعي زرعي عشر جبارة انت لا أبي خجرة.
We're going to take a 5-minute recess so you guys can go ahead and celebrate. It's a very emotional moment.
كلم تلابي يكبر بسيموتا كدا خنواتا يشاقيوتا كلم تلابي يكبر بسيموتا كدا خنواتا يشاقيوتا لون الجبار شوق الخماسة في البطار انت مربتا لون الجبار جبار مخوبي الكلاط ورايا من ذم صيف يا قوم سنايا شلامي مخوبي الكلاط ورايا من ذم صيف يا قوم سنايا لي قيدوني ويا مخرايا هلا بنطار اللي شانا يمايا لي قيدوني ويا مخرايا هلا بنطار اللي شانا يمايا لشانك يما فقرة وإقارة تاريخ ضاطور شهارة لشانك يما فقرة وإقارة تاريخ ضاطور شهارة لو ما أزرقت أشهر جبارة انت قمت لا أبد خشرة لو ما زرقت أشهر جبارة انت قمت لا أبد خشرة كلم تلابي اخبر باسي موتا كدا خنواتا يشاقي يوتا كلم تلابي اخبر باسي موتا كدا خنواتا يشاقي يوتا نون الجبار شوانتو خاماتا في للبطار انت ما رباتا نون الجبار جبار جبانتو خاماتا في للبطار انت ما رباتا ميمون عالقالات يما بصراخة التقوخ باقي تجمل مصريخة ميمون عالقالات يما بصراخة التقوخ باقي تجمل مصريخة نوني أبناتي ليتم بدواخة خويا مصورة يا هشليتم فلاخة نوني أبناتي ليتم بدواخة خويا مصورة يا هشليتم فلاخة